Welcome back to the show, everyone. On with me now is the one and only Squiggly Monster from The Masked Singer. We have Bob Saget here. How you doing, Bob?
I'm good. Who knew it was me, everybody?
Hey, only one person didn't guess you, so you didn't sweep. But if Ken is guessing you, you know you're in trouble because he's the worst guesser ever. You know, how was your experience on the show? You're a stand-up comic. How was it singing in front of millions of people?
Well, I've done Broadway before, and I've been doing stand-up. I've always done like 4 songs in every special I've ever done. So, when I perform, I'm always doing music. I used to be just a musical comic, comedy music, till I had the guts to take the guitar off. But it was, it was really fun. And it was interesting because I'd been asked to do the show before, and then it just didn't feel right. I was on tour. I couldn't do it. There was other things. I was filming something. And Tom Bergeron did it, and I was a clue of his, and I gave them information to be one of his secret friends. And because he was the taco, and people were accusing me of being the taco. I was like, how dare you accuse me? And then they said, would you like to do this? And I'm in quarantine. So I went, yes.
Yeah, right. What else am I doing?
Whatever. Well, I had done a little bit of stand-up, just a little. I went to Dave Chappelle's comedy camp, which was a dream. It was so much fun to be with Dave, who of course is hosting SNL Saturday. And I was with people I love. I was with, a lot of really great people. It was Chris Tucker and Louis C.K. and Michelle Wolf and Chris Spencer. And so they did that, but then you want to perform so bad. And I'm actually doing a drive-in, doing one of those stand-up gigs in December, because I'm just doing it. I have to perform. But this was, and a lot of performers, we're not, essential workers, but in our minds, if we don't perform, we are, because I have stuff I want to do. I want to make people feel good. I have things I want to talk about, and it's an exchange you don't get from other things. And being Squiggly Monster gave me a huge vent to be able to just put it out there. You only have 2 minutes to sing a song, and you work with choreographers, and they're amazing. And you work with a vocal coach. She's amazing. I mean, they have the A-team doing this, not George Peppard and Mr. T, but it was, the actual greatest people that could do a show like this. And it's so well produced. And Craig Plestis is a friend, and I've known him for years. He's the exec producer. And it was just, and I'm friends with Ken. So we're like texting each other, and he goes, you should be a judge on the Masked Singer. I went, I'm really busy. Meanwhile, I was getting fitted for Squiggly. How many eyes does he have? Can the eyes twirl around? They went, no, they're fixed. I went, darn it, I want to make him go googly-eyed.
But you had 4 hands or something. Yeah,
I did. I had lobster claws, and I had a mitten, and they had to tape it and sew it to my hand, the microphone, because I had a claw. I'm like, guys, I can't see, I can't breathe, and I can't even hold the mic. It's like, ask someone, I can't imagine how Big Bird is on ice. I don't know how anybody does anything in these things. And the helmet was like 35 pounds. So I'm like, it's pushing on my larynx. I'm going, I got to sing. So
even Mickey Rourke took off. He didn't even wait to be unmasked. He just took it off because he was too hot. But here's the question for you, Bob. Do you think you deserve to be unmasked? I mean, even though a lot of the judges guessed it was you, I thought you were on a strong roll there for a while.
I love you. I agree with you. Squiggly loves you. I thought I nailed both songs. And the next one was going to be, Stamos was going to be revealed as my friend in the next package. He was all ready to go. He signed an NDA. My wife signed an NDA. My oldest daughter signed an NDA. And I was going to go and do Folsom Prison the week after. And I was just going to take my lobster claw and, shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. That would have been the gunshot with a lobster claw. And then I even had for the match where there's a face-off of some kind in the finals. And I had Should I Stay or Should I Go by The Clash loaded up. So I'd rehearsed all of these things, and I was actually disappointed. Because here I am in a lineup. I've never been in a lineup. So far my record's clean, and I'm standing next to mushroom and jellyfish and broccoli, and I'm going, if it wasn't the time that we're in.
Right, I was going to say, it's 2020. Of course you're standing up there in a lineup with these guys.
Absolutely. And would I have chosen to do this 2 years ago? It wouldn't have been up on my list of choices. This was like a gift. This was like, okay, I didn't know I'd be standing next to these creatures, but I'm jealous of 2 of them. They were really a talented group. And watching it, I went, oh, Yeah, they're better than me. Oh, they're better than me. But
Well, I was
broccoli.
going to say, because you before we were talking, you were like, all right, I did what I did, but at the same time, I looked at everyone else and they seemed to be maybe a little bit better than you. Who do you think was your biggest competition, though?
I think broccoli was the one that I could have beat. This was a real, I didn't challenge this voting. I didn't say that I want to
You didn't ask
recount.
for a recount?
No, no, I didn't say it was, fraud. It was the Zoom audience and they voted. And so the people spoke and I respected it.
Yes.
No matter what. And so it is a gracious defeat. And that's the other thing that I love about the show. And I could see your voice, which was on right after it. And I love that show because even when people can't sing on that show, you're celebrating them. And there's a joy not making fun of them. And the same thing with Masked Singer. Everybody's rooting for you. And to get unmasked they want you to go further, so they feel sad for you. And Squiggly looks like someone you'd feel sorry for and you want to hug because he's a big furry thing with 7 eyes and claws. And
Right.
I even had 2 little hands. There's a thing that I just posted on Instagram where they did it behind the scenes. I had no idea I had a hat on. I had a top hat, but it's such a monstrous thing with all these bells and whistles they sewed onto it because the costumer is a Emmy award-winning brilliant lady. And all the people, they put ice packs in my pants. That was the good part, and my lower back. But the rest of it, I could not see. I could see the judges, and when things are brightly lit, otherwise I couldn't see anything. So you really had to know your choreography, even though it's not a lot. It is if you're going down a runway.
You're carrying like 50 pounds on your back while singing and dancing in front of millions of people. It is no easy feat. You did as good as anyone else could. Even Jenny McCarthy and Robin Thicke guessed you as their first impression. I think it's probably because you're also so tall, which also, doesn't necessarily help. And last night, Wayne Brady also guessed you right off the bat. Were you surprised that the judges had guessed you from jump?
No, because I did things that sounded like me, even though they harmonized the voice. And Nick actually could hear my voice coming out at the same time, but then they messed with it over the mic. So the judges can't hear my real voice, but Nick could. And Nick just went like that because I know Nick. So I know everybody. I met Jenny and Nicole, but I know Robin Thicke since he's a kid. I was friends with Alan and I spoke at his second wedding and I spoke at his memorial, and I have a closeness to their family. And Ken and I were texting and continuously we text each other. It's always just hearts and love and he's an unusual guy. And Wayne Brady I've known over the years. He's super talented and wonderful, sweetheart. So it's not just showbiz people going, oh, you're so beautiful. It's like, when you're a comedian, Nick's a comedian, and actors, but it comes from a place of affection and wanting to make people feel good. And that's why I'm so happy I did the show, because I'm in the middle of election and I'm going, wait a second, I need a break. Oh, I'll watch the show I'm on, and I couldn't tell anybody. Like my wife would call her family and say, oh, Bob's on the show. I can see your voice, but watch the show before it. And her mom would go, why? Oh, no, it's just I hear it's really interesting tonight. So it was so weird to be doing the show. And I'm like in an N95 and I got the helmet and a hoodie and a sweatshirt that says, don't talk to me. And I got an AD next to me going, okay, I got Squiggly walking. We're taking Squiggly. Squiggly's coming in.
It's easier to rob a bank than it is to be on Masked Singer. It feels like
it's more tight than the CIA.
My God.
They ran it really. That's what made it fun too. It was like a car pulls up in front of the house and it says SM on it. I'm like,
right.
That's not my car. No, you're SM. What?